Hello, and welcome to Men Explain Paintings. So this scene was quite interesting to film because obviously when we were doing it, when we were building the set itself, we couldn't get our hands on the original paintings, so we had to obviously have our team make copies of the originals. So they look like paintings, but those are actually just prints. The actors we tried to get them to connect with the pieces themselves, so we had them go to the galleries and stand beside them. This actor here, obviously this movement seems like it's edited, but it's not. The cameraman is just moving left and right, and the actor is repeating these movements. He really wanted to kind of get into grips with his character and really understand exactly who he is as a person and what he represents as a person and what his perspective is, really. I guess that's something that we're sort of always looking for from an actor. This is one of our other actors, John. Again, that's a print in the background there that John's looking at. John's putting a lot of effort with this. He's holding a coffee cup here, and I think John really wanted to kind of go for a character that seemed sort of like he wasn't sure of the interaction he was having with the other person. You know, there's something to be said about just standing still. In our society these days, everyone's moving so quickly. Someone standing still can in itself just be something interesting to look at. And it's very hard, here again, seems like this is edited. It's not edited. This is live, basically. This is pretty much one shot. We've just, used camera tricks to make it look like this isn't filmed in one go, but it is. This is all one moment here. John actually had a big part in the wardrobe. He really wanted to kind of understand his character more, and he decided to go for kind of this black t-shirt, black trousers, black shoes, black shirt, black trousers, black shoes, black shirt, black trousers, black shoes, which is interesting. He's holding a coffee there. That's a prop that he brought himself. Really interesting space that we filmed in here. This is obviously all built for this film. It wasn't, this was just an empty film set. That wall's been put there, that flooring. Again, that's a print with a frame. That was built specially for this. But the most important thing is the actors themselves are playing these roles, and there's been a lot of time and rehearsal gone into these characters and these characterizations of these men explaining paintings. What's interesting about this painting is obviously it's really giving us a view of how who's listening to John, how they're feeling. This was a very interesting scene. We have obviously our actor on the right there. He put in a lot of effort and a lot of work with this. It was very important to him that he came across as someone who really, really, really knew what he was talking about. And that's what you've got to take away from this. We hope, someone's going to take, when they watch this, that's what they're taking away from this, when they view this. No camera effects whatsoever here. This is completely all in real time. Everyone there, even the other actor there, you can see him with a backpack, walking very slowly, very difficult thing to do, but where there's a will, there's a way. And I think I think it was Andrew, this guy's name was Andrew, this actor's name. I think what he was trying to show us is, how important it is that if you're explaining something, it's more about how you move, and it's more about how you point and how you appear to know what you're speaking about than what you're actually saying. That's the main thing, I think, that we've learned from this exercise, from making this film. Again, really important, the outfit that he's wearing here, what the outfit is saying, what the outfit's speaking to the room and to the other people involved, the other actors involved. Great acting there, great movements. A lot of rehearsal went into this. Really important for him to come across as some guy in the know. You just want to trust this guy. I mean, look at the way that he's moving, for God's sake. He looks like someone you can trust. Very neutral colours. Again, we built the set, all those images in the background. What's really interesting is actually, surprisingly, I think his name is Matthew. He didn't know much about the original painting. Again, it's not actually a painting, it's a print because this is a set. But we would love to have had the original painting. But I think what was really interesting is, even though he didn't necessarily know the history or the position of the artist he was speaking about, you really get that from the way that he's communicating here. And again, it's the body language, it's the way that he moves, it's the way that he holds presence, it's the distance between his feet and the way his arm is propped up on the left. It's very important to pay attention to these things, I think. Oh yes, this was really interesting to film. I think it's David there on the left. He's again repeating the same motion. Hours and hours of choreography went behind this. A lot of time, a lot of effort. And I think it was really important for him that even though he was only doing a very small movement, he wanted to express that, he really did have some kind of authority in this situation. And you can be surrounded by blank, empty space, but still have something to say. This is a very interesting scene to film because we had to obviously film the picture beforehand, and I think it's Philip here. He's just holding the camera in the same kind of shot that we're trying to achieve here. Philip's been acting for a very long time. He's one of our older actors that we had come in, and he really brought a sense of, he really brought a sense of expertise, and he just immediately, as he walked into the room, he really understood the character and the kind of modus operandi of the person who was working here. And he felt it was really important that the line between the character and the audience was not obscured at all. He wanted you to feel like, as you're watching the scene, that maybe you could be a friend or a relative that's on, out for a day with him, looking at what he's doing and just admiring this man, really taking in this image. And when you get an actor that's been working for so long in this industry of acting, you really get a feeling that he knows what he's doing, and he can just so quickly get into character. It's amazing. It's very refreshing to see. This is actually funnily enough one of my favourite scenes that we filmed. I think because even though they're looking at what is essentially a black square, I think his name is Daniel, although I could get it wrong. There's so many actors in this film. I think because we're looking at Daniel's looking at a black square there, and even though this is obviously, again, choreographed, again, this is an actor, again, he's, it seems like it's sped up, seems like it's edited. It's not. I think the great thing about this is you really feel, again, that there is a sense of knowledge and authority in the way that he's moving in front of this. I think it was very important to the actor in this scene that he kind of broke himself up. I think, you see in a lot of these actors in films these days, even though if they're wearing masks or they might be wearing some kind of costume pretty early on into the film, their face will be revealed, and I think that's quite important to actors. You have to think about the longevity of your career as well, and that's what he's doing in this scene. So he said, okay, I don't mind having my back to the camera, but as long as I can wear some sort of bright colour, because I don't want to just be absorbed by this image. And I said, well, you know what, the fact that you're even acknowledging that shows that you really understand the character, and it made complete sense. So we let him choose from a range of colours, and for his costume he chose that. This is another shot of one of our actors from earlier on. This is a really great scene. Again, you can tell by the expressions, these gestures were very, very carefully thought out. We had a team of people come together, a lot of meetings happened, a lot of time and energy has gone into planning this. We really wanted the audience to connect with this character and realize that he is a person, especially the guy in front as well. There's a relationship between those two people. These two actors, they're standing in this room, they're looking at these images, and they have loads to say about it, and you just know that when they speak, it's just, you just should be listening. Cut to black and white there. I think that was just to kind of highlight the gestures that I've been given here and how important that they are. Again, if you're going to explain something, the character needs to be pointing a lot. That's important. It's all about the body language. Doesn't matter what they're saying. That's not important. It's just great to see actors like this who are so comfortable putting in that time, and it's kind of almost a mix between dance and acting. You know, here he is, it's in black and white, his hands feel like they're speeding up, and you really get a sense that there's been some sort of, you know, trickery here, but there isn't. It's literally just his movements, and you know, you don't get to see it a lot in this scene, but the actor in front of him, again, a lot of choreography has gone into this, a lot of preparation, but we have to choose what shots look best for the movie, obviously, so we've decided to go for this close-up here. We wanted this set to feel like, you know, art galleries that you've been to before, you know, but almost at the same time. A very big space, a very wide space, because we wanted to give the actors themselves, when they were filming, a lot of space to feel natural. We didn't want it to feel like a film set, you know. Big crew there, obviously, a lot of time, big budget went into this, but and there's an interesting, you might not have picked this up, but this actor here, very good friends with the actor in the previous scene with the hoodie on his shoulder, and they've really both felt like that signifies something quite important to both their characters and the way that they hold the room and their masculinity. So we decided, well, they decided, but obviously we approved it, that both actors would have those hoodies on their shoulders, and that would kind of link those two characters together. You don't necessarily know what their relationship is, but that's just like a little hidden secret in the film, basically. A little Easter egg almost. I think it's amazing as well, the kind of shine. Oh, this is a great scene. This is my favourite scene in the film, actually. Hours and hours and hours have gone into this, really, to just get that effect of him re-explaining something over and over again. And, you know, it's not easy to squat down for that long. And he really led the scene here, and he really uses his arm to properly illustrate just how important this image is. Very difficult as well to have those actors that are just slightly off camera come in and come out over and over again that quickly, but we found a way to do it. Basically just, again, like I said, a lot of rehearsal time. You can rehearse anything, really. If you repeat anything, it becomes significant. So this is probably one of the most difficult scenes we had to film, simply because of the way that we ended up having the characters walk forward like that over and over again. Very difficult to make that seem like it's not natural, but it is. It's just the way we cut the camera, basically. Very quickly moving. And we wanted this character here on the right, we wanted him to have a slightly different sense than all the other actors in this film. Because there's a lot more content for him to engage with. So, it's very important that he doesn't feel, or you don't feel like he's wasting anybody's time. Or that maybe he might not know what he's talking about. So, the walk forward, very important stuff. A lot of pointing. Again, very important stuff. A lot of confidence. Refreshing to see, really, isn't it? There's not enough of that in the world. A lot of great lighting going on there as well. Quick shout out to the lighting crew. That's coming in from, you only see a little bit of the kind of the strength that comes, see in that corner there on the left. There's a moment where it really comes through, but hours of work have gone into that as well. And weirdly enough, you'd look at this set and obviously it's so big, but it didn't take much more than a week to construct. A lot of it, over hours working, but we wanted it was a lot faster than expected, and it really turned out perfect, and this is just what we had in mind. And I think the actors really felt they understood their characters better because of the space that they were in, and that's something that's quite refreshing in working with the crew. A lot of strength in this posture here. Another one there. Strong images, strong postures. We wanted to keep those barriers in. We realised halfway through they'd be an important part of the set as well. So, it's something that one of those things you don't really see it when you're in those spaces, but they are there, and it's the little details that kind of make things seem real. And I think that's what the really important part of this film was. And we wanted everything to seem very real. Sort of, again, little nod. The tops are very similar colours. Sort of the actors feel one with the characters, so I just don't think people realise how important costumes are. So yeah, that was Men Explain Paintings. Thank you.